Andy Dalton, let's go there. I'm furious with the Panthers coaching staff. They trust Andy Dalton more than they trust Bryce Young. And I get it. The veteran, you're more like built-in trust. But Andy Dalton attempted 58 passes. 58, not including passes that were called back due to penalty, and there were a lot of penalties. The most the most pass attempts Bryce Young had in the 2 games that he played was 38. Andy Dalton had 58. Through 2 games, Bryce Young has 71. Andy Dalton had 58 in 1 single game. And by the way, Andy Dalton wasn't doing anything special, right? If he threw 58 passes and completed like 45 of them for 500 yards, I'm like, all right, they were riding the hot hand. Andy Dalton wasn't doing anything special. He made a really nice throw on 3rd down early in the game, took a shot for it. Little sidearm run into his left, got popped while he let it go. Great play. The touchdown to Chark was on busted coverage. You would like to think every quarterback in the NFL can make that throw. Other than that, the only reason I could see for that many pass attempts is because that's what they think their offense is best, and they didn't trust Bryce Young to do it. Here's Frank Reich earlier today on why they had so few rushing attempts.
Just from a lot of years of calling it, I would say that I've seen a theme in these kind of games, where you end up having as few runs as we had. So at the end of the day, we're committed to running the football. You say, well, then why don't you call more runs? Well, because I'm first committed to winning the game. And so we're going to call whatever we think we need to call to win that particular game. In the perfect world, you're a 60-40 pass run or, 55-45. But game by game, you just never know how it's going to work out.
Here's what I heard there. You're committed to winning the game, so you threw it a bunch? Well, the first 2 games, were you committed to protecting Bryce? Because it's obvious when the chips are down, when you need to come back, when you need to make a play, when you need to protect the lead, you want to throw the ball. That's what you proved in that Andy Dalton game. Mm-hmm. But when you had Bryce Young in there, you didn't? Were you not committed to winning? Did you really look at the defenses you were facing and say, oh, we can run against them? And I know in game 1 they ran the ball better, but I'm focusing more on game 2. Between game 2 and game 3, I don't see why one game ended with 30-something pass attempts and one game ended with almost 60, other than the quarterbacks were different. And even if, here's the thing, I don't even care if you think Andy Dalton is better at executing that side of the game. If you think Andy Dalton is the better passer, if you think he's better at executing the offense in that way, well, you still throw Bryce Young into the deep end and let him learn. You call the offense you think is best, you call the offense you think is going to win, and you let him rise to the execution of it or learn. It's obvious when they need a win, they want to sling it, and they did that with Dalton, and they haven't done it with Bryce, which tells me they are protecting Bryce Young. And number 1 overall picks, they don't get protected. You expose them so they can learn. You make them put their mistakes on tape so they can learn. I said this on Friday. I was like, if they run this offense extremely different, if it's an extremely different offense with Andy Dalton than it was with Bryce Young, I was going to be mad. Said that on Friday. Then they went out and attempted 20 more passes than Bryce Young has attempted in either of those games. So now I'm following through on my promise. Bryce Young, okay, Adam Thielen was getting open. Adam Thielen is the most consistent receiver that they have, and he's been consistent for like a decade, right? I don't think he learned a new trick to get open in week 3 that he didn't know in week 2, 10 years into his NFL career. Mm-hmm. Whatever you were calling to get him open week 3, you got to call in week 2, and either Bryce Young will find him or Bryce Young will miss him, and then Bryce Young will learn why he missed him. Now, if your running game is that poor in week 3, it probably wasn't that awesome in week 2, right? The differences couldn't be that drastic other than the quarterback changed. And how you treated the entire offense changed because the quarterback changed. And I don't like that. I would have been okay if you called a similar offense, and Andy Dalton executed better. He's top 25 in the history of the NFL in passing yards. It's not like he's a scrub. If he would have executed better, I would have sat back and said, cool. But you treated them differently, which is not cool. You throw Bryce Young into the deep end. And if he's healthy enough this week, you throw Bryce Young into the deep end. You don't dumb down anything for him. What's the quote from Coach Carter? There is nothing enlightened by shrinking so that others will not feel insecure around you. I don't know if it fits appropriately right here.
We'll go with it.
But it sounds deep, so I wanted to throw it out there. Maybe it seem like I'm well-learned, like I didn't learn it from a Samuel L. Jackson movie.
Exactly.
Well read over here.
By the way, we also never want to hear
at the end of the day
from Frank Reich ever.
Did he say at the end of the day?
At the end of the day.
We don't want to hear that.
That's funny.
Panthers fans have had enough of the end of the day. We're on to a new day.
How about we say at the start of the day?
Yeah.
At the dawn of a new day.
Sure, we'll go with that. But never want to hear it.
At the end of the day.
That is kind of
At the end of the day.
Don't want to hear that. Ever. That's
funny.
like PTSD for Panthers fans right now.
That's funny. I didn't catch that, but that is funny.
Oh, trust me, it's triggering now. It's triggering now.
Now I'm not going to be able to unhear it.